Okay, what I'm going to be doing here is doing a training on how to update diagnosis codes to the correct codes. Some of us have members whose diagnosis codes on the evaluation and the care plan are incorrect. And DDD and insurance companies require accuracy in diagnosis codes when we bill for those services. So we will be asking all of us to check and double check to make sure the diagnosis codes on each of the members that we serve is correct, and if not, they need to be updated. And I'm going to show you how this is done. There are two different ways that it can be done. One of them would have to be done every single time you input a visit note for that particular client. The other way could be done once and will cover everything moving forward. So obviously I highly recommend the other way. But either way, we do need to make sure that all diagnosis codes are correct on every single visit. Now, this client this member that we're pulling up here is, video meeting, and the diagnosis code that is in here is A31.9, and that is not the correct code. The correct code for this one we're going to say is autism, which is F84.0, and here is one way of correcting that, and this is the way that you would use every single visit and not just a one-time thing. So we'd go in and we'd create a visit. Go into visits, open a new visit, and you'll notice here there's this diagnosis box right here. The diagnosis, the incorrect one, mycobacterial infection unspecified, is in here. We're going to click on this little edit button and correct the primary diagnosis code to autism, which is F84.0 right here. When this refreshes, you know what we need to do? First, you need to do the S code. Sorry about that. We're going to have to do the diagnosis code again because that'll refresh everything. So we need to go F84.0. All right. Make sure it's in the right location. We got our units that go to 60 minutes, and then we go to the SOAP note portion. Now this next part, I also want to reiterate, it is very important that we have unique notes for every single visit and that the notes dictate what happens during that visit. Write something out, record what you did with the goals, make what the plan is. I told mom and dad how they can work on the plan for the next week. Then you sign it and you save it, and you'll notice that the diagnosis code is correct there. And we're going to go in and open this note now so that you can see that once again the diagnosis code is correct. Okay. That is the way that you have to do it if you choose not to do this next way, which is just a one-time deal, and you'll have to. So let's go look at that. Like I said, I highly recommend this is what you do. You go to the documentation page before you write your visit note, your next visit note, and you'll click on the evaluation. And if it's a dummy evaluation where all it is just the diagnosis code and there's nothing else, all you have to do is click on the drop-down menu and go to the correct diagnosis, autistic disorder, and save it. And you're done. Now, if you have any diagnoses that do not fall on this list, email me and I can get them input within 3 minutes. So it's a super easy process. All right, now you'll notice that the diagnosis code changed to F84.0 here. Well, big deal, it didn't change on the care plan. What does that mean? So the next time you do an annual care plan, please make sure you update the code at that point in that care plan. And in quarterly summaries during this time, you'll need to manually, in one of the windows, indicate, okay, this is the correct diagnosis. The one that's listed there is incorrect. All right, now let's create a visit note with this correct diagnosis code. So we go to visits, and same thing, we click on create a new visit, and you'll notice that here in the diagnosis area it is the correct code now. Nothing else needs to be done other than making sure that it's the correct date. I'm going to change the date so that we don't get an error saying, hey, you've got overlapping services, and the code and the units, minutes, and we write the note. I'm going to reiterate this one more time. I know you're bored about it, but it's very important. Unique note for every visit, please. Please. Update the goals that you work on and why you work on them. Sign it and save it. All right, now we've got these 2 visits, and let's open this last one up that we just did. Yes, look, see, we got the correct diagnosis. And that, my friends, is how we do this. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or any of us in the office. We're happy to help out. And thank you for the great work you do.